move is called a J-toss. There are a couple variations of a J-toss that we do. I am not an expert on J-tosses, and in fact I find it one of the most difficult ones to explain. However, I will do my best, and if it's still confusing, get assistance in person or from an individual who has already perfected it. It's a little bit of a difficult move to explain. So, well, first let's look at what a J-toss looks like. You have three different variations. So, the first one is when your hand is on the tape and second cheater. Okay, that is a tape J-toss. The next way to do it is if you slightly strip the pole, your hand is going to be at about the equivalent of the first cheater except for the silk, and your left hand will be at the first cheater, so you're literally splitting the pole. This looks really pretty in the air. This is my favorite J-toss. Okay. The last J-toss is when your flag is facing to the left, your right hand is on tape and your left hand is in the silk. You're still making the same motion though. Okay. So, how does a J-toss work? What does a J-toss require? The first item is the release point. Slam tosses have a release point very quick after you begin the motion. J-tosses, however, continue a little ways before they release point. The release point for both the tape and the silk J-toss is right here. The release point for the pole J-toss is here. You'll notice how the pole is facing down, but my hand is upside down. At that point, your hand has to continue the rotation in order to allow for the pole to fully rotate. So it makes a little motion like that, no matter which position you're in. Now it's a little harder when you do the backwards one because you've already made that rotation, but you need to continue it just a little bit more and give it the height. Okay? So if you watch carefully, I'll just demonstrate all of them. Okay, that was tape.
Okay, that was tape.
Watch my hand.
Watch my hand.
And then a pole J-toss. Watch my hand.
J-toss. Watch my hand.
And that is how you do a J-toss. Just, you gotta remember, when you do your pop, you're doing a flick with your wrist and making sure you get it nice and high in the air. We're still doing a high mom, however it will not be a perfect straightforward high mom. Your wrist will be a little bit crooked, so you're more of doing like a high mom. So just so you're aware that it does require a tiny little bit more of a flick. So spin and flick. That's how you do a J-toss.